to Envisioned Broadcasting. Envisioned Broadcasting, the station designed to encourage, equip, and empower you for growth and success. An affiliate of Direct Impact Broadcasting and Creative Broadcasting, presenting the Empower Hour with Jaresha, a show that shares the stories behind the journeys of leaders, influencers, and motivators. The Empower Hour with Jaresha begins now.
Welcome to Empower Hour with Jaresha. I am your host, Jaresha Moore. A little bit about myself. I am a best-selling author with over 18 years of combined experience in education, finance, healthcare, business management, and development, owner and founder of Empower on Purpose, LLC, where we provide leadership training, personal and professional coaching, and consulting services, certified coach, speaker, and trainer with the John Maxwell team, and owner of Envisioned Broadcasting radio station. Today, I want to share some exciting news with all the listeners. I am so humble and blessed to share that I was selected as a feature in the Swag Her magazine as a Wednesday Wonder Woman. This was an amazing opportunity to share some of my story and journey with the world. One of the questions that I was asked by Francesca Fancy Felder, the founder, publisher, and editor-in-chief of Swag Her magazine, is how would you describe your Swag Her? So in other words, what makes me me? Here was my response. I am a passionate and driven woman of God who was on a mission to cultivate self-worth, empowerment, and value to everyone that I meet. I live an authentic and transparent life in hopes that it will show others that once you decide to become transparent, you gain confidence, trust, clarity, respect, and peace, which ultimately leads to transformation. You can view the entire interview and feature by visiting swagher.net/Wednesday/WonderWoman-Jaresha-Moore. So today's empowerment quote is, your greatest risk is in thinking too small. Think big. Life is too short to think small. Author unknown. I absolutely love this quote. Every year, I choose a positive motto that I'm going to strive for and focus on for that year. And this year, I selected think big, plan bigger, and achieve the biggest. At the end of the day, this quote is truly about having the courage and the confidence to think outside the box. We have to understand that thinking small will never challenge us to do, be, or have more in life. Thinking small will never allow us to see or reach our true potential. Here is another quote that says, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Think about this for a minute. Here is what we all would probably do. We would take those risks. We would only think big, and the world would be full of people who are using their potential to the fullest. However, we allow fear to stop us and keep us stuck in a safe zone. A safe zone where we're so afraid to take risks, afraid to live, afraid to make decisions for our lives. We are afraid of everything because of the fear of the unknown or failure. I truly hope that this quote helps you recognize and realize that you were created for greatness, and therefore you need to give yourself permission to think big and take the risk. I had the opportunity to hear author Seth Godin speak, and he shared a powerful message that I want to share with you all. He said, we have to tell ourselves, this may not work, but let's do it and find out. How often do we say this may not work and be okay with that? We have to be okay with jumping and building those wings on the way down. So without further delay, today my special guest is Tandee Salter. A little bit about Tandee. Tandee A. Salter, a native of Columbus, Georgia, is a certified life and master business success coach. She is the #1 Amazon best-selling author of Inhale Confidence, 21 Days of Affirmations for the Millennial Women, Confessions of a Broke Entrepreneur, and a co-author of best-selling book 20 Beautiful Women, Volume 2. Tandee holds degrees in paralegal studies, sociology, and public administration. She has over 10 years of experience in customer service, with 7 of those being in the call center environment. In the years she has worked in the call center, she's moved from customer service representative 1 to a senior representative and went on to become a part of the quality control team. Tandee also has management experience. Tandee's experience in call centers, along with her education, has allowed her to not only learn the importance of effective internal and external communication, but has also allowed her to teach those valuable skills to others. Tandee uses her skills and experience to serve women entrepreneurs by teaching marketing and communication skills, along with one-on-one coaching and a variety of done-for-you services. Welcome, Tandee. How are you this evening?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so happy and excited to have you on the show today. So I just shared some of your amazing bio. Please share with the listeners a little bit more about your journey and how you came to do all the amazing things you're doing now.
Well, it all started, I guess, when I was a child. I always had this desire to help people in some sort of way or to encourage people. I loved reading Maya Angelou's story and the many things she accomplished in her life. And I also loved watching and seeing Oprah. Even after they told her she wasn't made for TV, she went on to have a long-running show and did movies and so much more. And so I wanted to use my voice and my words to help empower other people, because I've always been a writer from my first poetry contest in the third grade up through college, and writing in the church for the newsletter or even plays for the youth department. So it's always been something in me to write, to share, and to empower others.
Absolutely. That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's very awesome because that's something that you mentioned that started at a very young age for you. Absolutely awesome. So, I just mentioned that you are a certified life and master business success coach. Tell us more about that.
In building my business, I started off doing just life coaching, but I wanted to study a little bit more about coaching individuals as well as building businesses. So I decided that I wanted to get my certifications and also be able to use them in a way to grow my business. And in focusing on the life coaching, I had quite a few different women that I was working with on their confidence ask me about starting their businesses or what can they do to start a business. So I looked more into the business side of things as well and expanded from there, understanding that there's no way for anyone to grow or expand a business without first knowing who you are and getting in touch with yourself. So the life and the business coaching go hand in hand, and you need both to be successful as an entrepreneur. And so that was how I decided that. But I would say it really goes back to when I was in college and I studied sociology, originally thinking I was going to go into social work or counseling, but I didn't necessarily like all the restrictions around it. So I wanted to serve in my own way and build my own type of business, which is why I stayed within the coaching.
Awesome. Absolutely. One of the things that you mentioned that really stood out to me is how, you've worked with some women and how it's important really, to know who you are. It's so important. It's important to have that confident piece, and knowing who you are, that helps you know where direction and where you're trying to go or grow, I like to say. So that's really awesome. So, and I know you mentioned that you have worked with women, and so tell us a little bit more about some of the types of clients that you actually work with with your business.
The majority of my clients are female entrepreneurs who are in service-based businesses, whether it's a coach, a speaker, photographer, different things of that nature, all trying to stand out from the crowd and be more confident in how they deliver their message and even promote their products and services. Most of the time, it is starting with a lack of confidence and not believing in their individual gifts as well as what they have to offer the world as far as their products, not believing people will truly pay them for what they already have or what they know. So we have to first work on building that confidence and then developing a message that we can deliver with clarity and confidence and not confuse people, because we all know if you confuse people, no one's going to do business with you, and they're going to I don't understand why she's here.
Absolutely. That confidence piece is just so important. and I think about from, my own business and, even when I started, you have to have that confidence. You have to have that confidence, and it's not to say that you're going to know everything, about business, because I think that we're still all learning, but it's so important to have that confident piece and just know and believe in yourself and what you're doing and what you're going to be offering in your business. So I think that's awesome how you are able to help those female entrepreneurs, with one, developing that message and also that confidence, and sharing that message with their clients. And I know we talked about, or we mentioned how you hold so many, different degrees. You hold a degree in paralegal studies, sociology, and public administration. How do you think each of those have truly made that impact on your coaching business? And what do you feel like made you kind of shift your focus?
I think each of them actually help with my business. It's part of, especially sociology and public administration, are both part of me being able to understand people.
Yeah.
Because in studying sociology and public administration, we study a lot of culture and society and what allows people to become who they are today, and how different influences impact their lives. And it helps me look into my customers, especially on the business side. When it comes to marketing your business, you have to understand people and what drives them and what motivates them. And so studying sociology in the public administration fields have definitely helped me to improve or be more helpful to my clients when it comes to creating their marketing plans and helping them stand out. And paralegal studies, it's helpful all around because I get to peek into the laws. I know how to research the laws, and also, though I still would send contracts to a lawyer to review, I can kind of preview them myself because I'm familiar with what needs to be in the contract, what doesn't need to be in the contract, and then send it to a lawyer and say, okay, what else is missing or what else that I need to include.
Absolutely. And it's so important, it's so important to have that marketing and those communication skills, especially, you think of the business world, we all deal with people, every day, day to day. And without those skills, your business really cannot be successful. If you could share one great marketing tactic that you find is great for, those small business owners or the female entrepreneurs, that you work with.
I think one of the best things female entrepreneur or any entrepreneur can do to market their business is to actually show up consistently. So many people get discouraged when you post about your business, your book, your product, or service 1 or 2 times on social media, or send 1 or 2 emails and you get no responses. And you have to understand it takes people multiple times to see something before they'll take action. It used to be at least 7 times, but it's actually increased because of the fact that we're constantly bombarded with information and different advertisements, especially with social media. So they're going to have to see it quite a few times before they're encouraged to take action. So for you to continue to market successfully requires you to show up consistently and not just one time.
Absolutely. I have to, absolutely agree. And I say that because, I just think about, my own branding. And like you mentioned, you have to be consistent. When I first started, my business, I never even realized, even how to even put myself out there, to really brand. And then once I did, get a coach and to kind of help me with that process, it opened my eyes because, as you think about, social media and just the whole internet world. And as you mentioned, you can't just expect to put something out a couple different times and think that, that's going to be enough. And, for a follower to become a follower, they want to be able to see that message. They want to be able to learn and, learn more about you and your brand. So that's absolutely awesome. And so I love how you are also a #1 Amazon bestselling author of, Inhale Confidence, 21 Days of Affirmations for the Millennial Women, Confessions of a Broke Entrepreneur, and a co-author of the best-selling book, 20 Beautiful Women, Volume 2. Can you share more about each of those amazing books with our listeners?
I'd love to. So as I stated, I've always been a writer. I love to write, to share my words, whether it was poetry, short stories, or plays. So one of my dreams was to always become a published author. And in 2015, I saw an opportunity to be part of the 20 Beautiful Women Volume 2 anthology, and I thought, well, why not just go for it? So I reached out to the publisher, and I submitted my story, and I'm so excited when my story was accepted. And so that book was published, and we went through promoting and doing the marketing, and it became a bestseller. And I was super excited because that's the first time seeing bestseller next to my name, and it was like my dream came true. So that was the first one. So I was super excited. I'm like, I did it. I'm a published author. Like, that's it. And then the 21 Days of Affirmations for the Millennial Women are actually a collection of affirmations that I often use to speak over myself. And it's what helped me during a time where I once struggled with my confidence. Speaking those affirmations over myself are what helped me to stay encouraged. And it helped me to grow, because we all know that your business does not grow if you don't grow as a person. And so a friend of mine was like, well, are you going to share this with others? And I was like, okay. So I sat down and pulled the affirmations together, and I got with a publisher, and we were able to publish the book. And I said, okay, so we're going to become a bestseller again. I was like, wait, God is doing something, because me, I was just publishing the books. I just wanted to be a published author. I wanted to write. I was like, even if one person read the book, it would make a difference. I wasn't expecting for it to hit number one on Amazon, and it did. So to get like the screenshot from the publisher, like, look, we made it. I'm like, we did. Like, if you could have been in the room to see my face when I checked my text message, you would have been like, what's wrong with her?
Yes, I understand. I definitely understand. That's a huge accomplishment. So that's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so that's like, it's just one of the most exciting things. So I'll see bestseller again.
Absolutely amazing. It's one of those, I don't know, it's a feeling that's, I think, out of this world, that it just, you want to just scream to the top of your lungs saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Absolutely. Absolutely amazing. And, so you just mentioned about affirmations, and, I definitely am one too that use affirmations, think affirmations are so important, on a day-to-day. Could you share with the listeners, I guess one thing that maybe you do in your morning routine that, is just an absolute thing that this is a must for your daily routine, and then why?
My morning routine is actually one I picked up in childhood. I like to blame it on my mother. I didn't like it as a child. Like, in the mornings, we weren't allowed to turn on the TVs or play anything other than gospel music.
Wow.
And what I didn't understand at the time was that's important to set your day and set your mindset. And as I grew older, I learned the importance of building my own personal relationship with God. And so now in my morning routine, I'm usually quiet. I don't do any talking. I don't answer any texts, any emails, anything. I spend that time in devotion. I may journal. So even though I didn't understand it as a child, I understand it now, because it sets the motion for my entire day, and it fills me with gratitude and allows me to have a more peaceful start rather than just getting up rushing throughout the day to get the day started.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And, I experienced something similar to you as a child as well, where, it was important to have a journal or a diary, as it was called when I was growing up, that something that you can just write in on a day-to-day. And I didn't want to do that. I, didn't understand the importance of it, didn't really want to do it. But now it's an absolute must for me as well, along with that, the meditation, the devotion, and all of that. I wouldn't have it any other way. I think it's so important to have that time just to either have a brain dump or just to, have that quiet time to yourself to be able to, think on paper. So absolutely. So we both know how important it is, being a coach and a mentor to others. Could you share a little bit more as far as how, maybe having your own mentor and coach has impacted your life and your business?
Oh, it has been phenomenal. One of the first life coaches I had, she said, her name is Tasha Scott, one of her favorite things to say was she always told us to give ourselves permission. And I always think about that because a lot of times we hold our own selves back. Yeah. And we hinder ourselves from becoming successful or going after our dreams because we haven't given ourselves permission. So we're living based on what everyone else allows us to do or tells us we should do or should be instead of being ourselves. And once you give yourself permission, it allows you freedom to be who you are, freedom to walk in your purpose, freedom to truly help and impact others on your journey to success. And so that's one of the most powerful things I've ever had, and I'm grateful for her. And that's why it's one of the reasons it's important for everyone to have a coach in life and business. And also on the business side, it's helped me to see more than what I initially saw. Because so many times we see one thing, but when we get an outside perspective from someone with wisdom, they see so much more in us and they pull it out. And so it like takes away the box to say, like, you're breaking the box and you're going to step outside of the box, outside of your comfort zone, and go on to do something greater in your life and your business.
Absolutely. Yes. That's awesome. You said so many powerful things. And, I also tell others that it's so important to have more than one coach. Don't just stop there. I feel like you need to have a coach for certain areas of your life. So whether it's, your finances, your business, relationships, it's so important, as you mentioned, just to have that, that either that accountability partner or that accountability coach that can help, that can provide, to see, things from the outside in, to be able to offer that wisdom that you may not have or may not be able to see. So I think that is absolutely awesome. So tell us a little bit about a day in the life of Tandee. What does a day in the life of your business look like?
It can be anything. Of course, we start the mornings with our meditation, devotion, prayer, and journaling. Some days I cook breakfast. Some days I buy breakfast. But I'm going to eat. It's like anyone who knows me knows that I'm going to eat. I'll randomly post about snacks for the day. So that's just part of me. And so I could be doing anything from creating email sequences for myself or my clients to hopping on a coaching call or a podcast. Absolutely. And then, of course, there's some days where I like to call them mental days or self-care days where I'm just going to sit down with Netflix because I feel like I need a moment to relax, and then I'll get back to business because so many times people like get into entrepreneurship and think you have to work 24/7 on your business. There's no days off, but that's not true because you need time as a person to relax, to reflect, to take care of yourself, watch a movie, get a manicure, or pedicure, get your hair done, whatever it is. Because if you don't take proper care of yourself, your business is not going anywhere. And so
that's right.
I see a lot of times where people will post team and no sleep or they're constantly grinding for their business. And I'm sorry, I'm not about that life. I'm going to sleep.
That's right. Yes, I completely agree. And at one point, I was that person that was like, oh, I have to keep working until I just, drop. But no, you have to take care of yourself. Unfortunately for me, I, had some health challenges in the past to where it made me, I'm like, okay, I get it. It was one of those, spiritual moments. I was like, look, God, I definitely get it. I have to stop, take care of me, because if I don't take care of me, then nothing else, I can't do anything else. I can't run a business. I can't take care of the kids. You can't. So that's so true. That self-care is so so very important, for, whether you're running a business or not, it's important for everyone to take time out. If that looks like Netflix for you, if that looks like, relaxing, listening to music, you have to take that time to, exercising, whatever that looks like for you. You have to take that time for yourself. So what is one thing that you wish you had have known when you started out?
One thing I wish I would have known when I started out, that it's okay to be me. In the beginning, there were still areas where I struggled with my confidence, which is what I learned while working with my life and business coach, that it's okay to be me. Social media has a way of pulling people into the comparison trap and making you think that your life or your business has to look like someone else's. And the truth of the matter is, in your business, in your life, there's nothing wrong with who you are. There's nothing wrong with standing out because you're different, whether it's weird or quirky. And there's nothing wrong with just being you. The best marketing actually starts with you, because people do business with other people. I know, because business is really not about logos and pretty colors. It's about people. And if you as a person learn to be okay with yourself, your business will grow quicker, better. You'll have better clients, and the clients you want to work with, not just anybody, because you have to also understand that all money isn't good money. And so I wish I would have known sooner that it's okay to be me, and I didn't have to try to do it like everyone else.
Absolutely. That's awesome. So then what do you think is the most rewarding part of being a business owner?
The most rewarding, I said reporting, like, okay, no, that's not the word. The most rewarding part of being a business owner is the freedom to be myself and not have to try to conform myself or to fit into someone else's standards. And I think that's part of the reason why I decided that being a regular W-2 employee is not for me, because it was always something in some environment. So I said, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like them. I don't want to follow their dress code. I don't want to wear my hair. Like someone actually told me one time my natural hair is unprofessional. So I felt like, well, I'm just going to be unprofessional.
Wow.
But being an entrepreneur is like, it doesn't matter. I don't have to conform to their standards. I can be me.
That's right.
I can set my own schedule and just do what I love, and also still serve other people. And that joy I see when I see one of my clients post on social media success, or they call or text, it's super exciting, and it's rewarding every single day to know that I'm helping people just by being me and using my own gifts.
Absolutely. I think that is so important, and that's, I have to, agree with that, even for myself, that when it comes down to it, as a coach, it truly is all about adding that value to others, and like you mentioned, just seeing that joy that, clients have, and that excitement, for whatever program or, whatever class it is that they may be, taking, that's a part of your business. It's just that alone, just, it gives me joy. It makes me smile and everything else. And so I definitely think I completely agree with that, for my own business as well. So we both know, as business owners, there are wins and successes, but there are also obstacles, challenges, and disappointments. Can you share one of the challenges that you faced and how you overcame it?
One of the challenges I face is that book, Confessions of a Broke Entrepreneur. I started my business, and because of the fact that I struggled with being myself in the beginning and I didn't truly value what I had to offer, I was pretty much a broke entrepreneur. Like, I had a little bit coming in, but it was nowhere enough to sustain myself in the business, and ultimately the business was not my own. It looked like a combination of everyone else's. Wow. So I was trying to do so much and be like everyone else that I ultimately failed myself. And so I got to a point where I didn't want to do business anymore. I wrote a letter to my clients saying I was no longer going to be accepting new clients. I was ending all contracts. And in my mind, I was just going to take a couple of weeks or maybe a few months off from the business to work on myself, to try to purge and get rid of some things and see what it is I really needed to keep and what I needed to let go. It ended up actually being a full year that I was away from business. I was trying, and during this year, it's so funny because I have one accountability partner I tried to run from. I didn't want to answer phone calls or text or anything, but she's the type of person that doesn't give up. And that's why I say having an accountability partner like that is phenomenal, because even when I wanted to give up, even when I wasn't active in business or on social media, she still took the time to check on me, to encourage me, and tell me that I could do it. And I told her, I said, I just feel lost. I don't know what to do. And she reminded me that I already knew who I am. She told me to use my gifts, to use my voice, and to stand strong. So during that year, I went deep into personal development, deep into spiritual development. I went back to all of my training from school, from business coaches, and some stuff I threw out and other things I kept. But that's where I learned that the obstacles and challenges and disappointments I faced were all meant to help me be stronger, and to be able to better serve my audience. And now I can tell them, look, I know some people post only the good things on social media, but I'm here to tell you there are some bad and hard moments. And it's not even some of those people that post good times are posting pictures they pull up from Google, or maybe they rented an Airbnb, or they rented a car to try to show off. But look, I almost quit. And it took me taking that time out to really refocus and rebuild myself and rebuild my business. And if I hadn't done that, I probably would have been the statistics that says most businesses don't make it past 5 years.
Wow, that's good. I can attest to it as well, that it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears when it comes down to trying to grow your business, trying to run your business. It is. I agree. There's a lot of, pictures that are posted that makes it appear like it's just, all sunshine and daisies, and it's not saying that doesn't happen, but there's a lot of, work that goes into trying to be, an entrepreneur. And especially when you're just starting out and, you're wearing every hat of the business. You're the marketing, you're doing it all. So I definitely, can attest to that, myself. But I think it's awesome how you were able to take that time. You were able to recognize and say, you know what, I need to pull back for, a little bit. I need to reevaluate. I need to refocus. And, you took that time out for yourself so that you can come back stronger than ever. So I think that is, I think that's amazing that you recognize that and, and just, did what you had to do, as a business owner. Sometimes we have to make those tough decisions, and sometimes it means that we may have to, fall a couple of times, but get back up even stronger. So I think that's amazing that you were able to do that and come back stronger than ever. So what kind of impact do you or does your business make on the world, and where do you see your business in the next 5 to 10 years?
My business, my total mission is to empower, educate, and equip women entrepreneurs with the tools they need to succeed in life and business with confidence and clarity. And every time I see someone post a comment or say thank you or text, call, email, or anything, I see the positive impact. I see the growth. I see women taking a stand for who they are and not conforming to the standards of the world. I see women becoming more confident and courageous in business, in life. Even if they're not an entrepreneur, they're able to go for that job they always wanted and climb the corporate ladder, because we understand entrepreneurship is not for everyone, but you still want to be confident and clear in your life and in your career. And in the next 5 to 10 years, I would love to see more of that. And, of course, writing is one of my passions, so I'm working on some more books and also doing some more speaking and traveling to reach more women.
Amazing. That's awesome. So today the empowerment quote was your greatest risk is in thinking too small. Think big. Life is too short to think small. The author is unknown. Please share with the listeners what this quote means to you.
It reminds me of what my life coach told me when she said to give yourself permission. Because for so long, we only think in terms of what people say we can do or what we can't do. And we confine ourselves to a small little box. But when you break free of the box, you begin to think big. And you get to see greater things. And also in remembering that we are created in God's image. And I love how I recently I was watching the Potter's House 1LA, and Pastor Teray was talking about Genesis, and he was talking about the beginning and the creation, and just rereading it makes me remember that God is creator. He's created. He created everything. And so we're created in his image, so we too are created. We don't have to think small. We can think big and know that God is going to provide for us and that he's going to help us go wherever we desire if we would only believe and also walk by faith. So it's knowing that we have to give ourselves permission to walk by faith and also remember that we are creating God's image. So he's the creator. He created everything. So we also are creators.
Yes, absolutely. Amen. Preach it. Yes, absolutely. And, we are created for greatness as well. So, yes, I love that. So what is one piece of advice you would give our listeners on how they can empower their own growth and success journey?
To empower your own growth and success journey, I would encourage all listeners to really follow your heart. Just like I had to listen to myself and take the time off from my business and dive into my development, don't be afraid to listen to what's inside of you, and also don't be afraid to ask for help. And I would definitely say during that time away from my business, I read Shonda Rhimes' book, The Year of Yes. And I think it all flows together with giving yourself permission. I think it also is a reminder to do those things that scare you and stop saying no to every opportunity, because that no could be something that you need. And I love how she took a whole year and said yes to different opportunities, even if they scared her, even if it was out of her comfort zone. And so sometimes when something comes my way, I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to say yes and let God handle it, because I already know that it's opportunity everywhere, and you just have to recognize those opportunities for you, and don't be afraid to do it just because it's out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely. And to piggyback off of that, I think it was Ayanna Van Zandt that said, when you say yes, have a strong yes and a strong no. So that book is amazing. I read that book as well. So amazing. I would encourage all the listeners to get a Shonda Rhimes book, What the Power of Yes, or No Yes. Absolutely. That book is amazing. So if you could please share with the listeners what is coming up on the horizon for you.
What is coming up for me? So my newest anthology, A Stage of Their Own, was just released. It was a collaboration with the World Voice League. I'm super excited because that book, too, made it to Amazon bestseller.
Awesome. Congratulations.
So I'm super excited about that. And then I have a couple other ideas for new books that in my mind I'm going to start working on and get out for the end of the year. So I guess this is y'all holding me accountable. Like, hey, did you finish that book yet?
That's right.
And so I'm definitely excited about continuing opportunities. And I know in August I will be with the World Voice League, which is currently on Love My Voice tour. I know I will be speaking down in Jacksonville, Florida. We just came back from Atlanta over the weekend, so I'm super excited to meet more entrepreneurs as the tour continues and also other doors open.
Awesome. So, Tandee, thank you for sharing your amazing story and journey. Please share with the listeners on how they can stay connected with you and support your efforts.
You can connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn at Tandee Salter. And remember, Tandee is Tandee, double E's, no Y, no I, none of that. We don't do that. It's Tandee, and Salter, Salter, and my website is tandeesalter.com. I would love to connect with you all and learn more about you and your stories. And also, of course, if you need help, I'm here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It has truly been an honor and a pleasure to have you as a guest on the show. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I really appreciate the fact that you took out the time out of your schedule to give me the opportunity to interview you. So I wish you much success and blessings as you continue on your journey.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Listeners, thank you for tuning in to tonight's show with our special guest, Tandee Salter. Tandee shared her growth journey to encourage, equip, and empower you for growth and success. And she also shared that she would encourage listeners to follow your heart. Don't be afraid to listen to what's inside of you, and don't be afraid to ask for help, that is. If you are interested in being a guest on the show, starting your own radio show, or low-cost advertising, highlighting your book, business, or events, please email envisionedb@empoweronpurpose.com. Please tune in next week where you will hear an amazing story and journey from another leader, influencer, and motivator. Until next time, be blessed.
Thank you for listening to the Empower Hour with Jaresha, where Jaresha speaks with leaders, influencers, and motivators who share their journeys in personal and professional growth, empowerment tips, lessons learned, and keys of success that will empower you to be your best self. Follow Jaresha on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jaresha Moore, and visit EmpowerOnPurpose.com. And remember to be intentional and be empowered, and have a great day on purpose.